I made my dad choose between me and his new family. My father, 52, and I, 25, female, along with my third old Cocker Spaniel Moxie, live in my mom's ancestral house that I inherited along with other assets when she died when I was 16 due to cancer. My father got married to his high school sweetheart a few months ago while he was on a trip with his friends. Apparently, they've been in contact for almost 2 years now. I was shocked by his life, and if he is happy, then I am okay with it. They moved in a week after the small wedding that I wasn't even invited to, since I had no idea that they were even dating or that he was dating. She, my dad's wife, that we'll call Steph, 51, came with a baggage. I mean twin stepsisters, 20 female, Lizzie and Lexi, fake names, and there are two chihuahuas, Gucci and Hermes. They go to the state college nearby and thought that it would save them money if they live here instead or pay in rent etc. My dad asked if it was okay, and he also stated that the house is big enough for us. 7 bedrooms, 8.5 bath, a basement and a huge yard with a pool. To make my dad happy I said yes. Big mistake. First issue was the argument of me moving to a smaller room since my room has the second biggest closest out of all the rooms in the house. She needed in the store all her luxury bags and clothes etc. I said no. I told her it's been my room since I can remember and she's not making me move when it's my house. My dad compromised with her that he'll give her side of the closet to her, while his things are in the other room. Second issue, the twins have the habit of breaking into people's rooms without knocking, and that includes my office, currently working from home due to COVID. Lexi walked in one time wearing a bikini looking for something while I was in the middle of business meeting. She literally walked behind me where everyone could see her. I was pissed off and embarrassed. Third, their dogs are not potty trained and would leave poops and pee around the house, and the twins wouldn't even clean up after them. They are also very aggressive towards Moxie. I found Moxie one time with a scratch on her left thigh, where the other 2 dogs would usually nip at when they get the chance. Fourth, all the family photos in the house were removed and put in the attic without my approval. That includes my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my mother's family photo, my baby pictures, etc. I took my time to put them all back to where they belong. This happened a few times. 2 days ago Steph did it again, but that time she replaced them with her pictures, the twins and her family, etc. Steph and I had a heated argument about it. I told her that she can't do anything regarding the decoration etc. in my house without my approval, and that her daughters should also learn how to knock on doors and have their dogs potty trained. She said that they can wherever they want in her house, and that she will be making up house rules that we will all follow since she thinks I'm such a wild animal doing wherever I want and that I was not raised properly due to having a bad, useless mother. I was livid. That's an understatement. I told her that she can't pack her things along with her twins because I'm kicking her out. She said that I have no right to kick them out from the house. I told her, quote, "Lady, you are living under my room. This is my house. I inherited from my mother, and right now you, your twins, and your dogs are trespassing. Get out before I call the cops." My dad got home early that day after Steph told him what happened. I told him my side of the story. He said that they're still getting used to the house and the move here was difficult for them. I told him about all the issues surrounding them, but he kept insisting that it's going to get better and that to just give them some time. I told him that I've put up with all their shit and I've had enough. Enough is enough. He was defending them more, taking their side. So I told him that he can either move out with them or stay, and that he has until the end of the week. I spoke with my mother's previous lawyer, Amy, fake name, about the issue on Saturday and asked if there is a way to contest the will. She showed me the documents and I both signed an agreement in summary that we agree on what was left to us and that we will not be contesting in it in the future. My mom for the win, she also advised to give them at least 30 days to find a place and move out to avoid any legal troubles etc. So inheritance issue is solved. Saturday night I was supposed to have dinner with just my dad. Apparently a private discussion between father and daughter is a whole family affair. Steph and twins were there. To make it quick and to end the misery, I stated that I spoke with Emmy regarding the house and other legal issues. I also added that they have 30 days to find a place and move out. Steph tried to object, but Dad shut her down by saying that we can fix the issue and we can all go to family therapy and that we just need time to get to know each other. Feel my eyes rolling. I informed him that it'd been months since they moved in and not once they tried to be family, unless they need something. I put my foot down. Enough is enough. So I asked him if he's going with them or staying, so I'll know which items he'll be talking. He asked if I'm kicking him out, which I told him I'm not, that he is free to choose wherever he goes, but I told him that he should not expect me to keep in contact with him if he decided to leave. Steph asked why I'm kicking out of his house. I told her that I inherited my house from my mother. I guess she thought that I live with my dad in his house. Big misunderstanding on their part. Lexi argued that it's going to be hard to move since they finished up spring semester and that finals are in a couple of weeks. I just smiled and said better hurry and find a place. I left after that. Yesterday, Easter Sunday, I invited my boyfriend and his family and my two best friends over to celebrate Easter Sunday. My dad has been calling me and I didn't bother answering the call. He tried to invite me to spend the day with them. As far as I'm concerned, the only family I have right now are my two best friends, my boyfriend and his family. It was a good Sunday. We did some egg hunting and a few games and had a big dinner, which I haven't had in a long time. I felt right. Anyway, right now I'm finishing up on documenting everything that's worth over $500 in the house. I had a few people over to help document them. All logs have been changed. I only gave a copy to my boyfriend. Don't worry about my dad asking him about the key. He doesn't approve of him since he's middle class. I also hired professionals to install a security system around the house and property, and I'm scheduled to meet with someone regarding the fences and gate. I have not tapped into the fund that my mom left since I started college to help with the tuition, dorm and other expenses, but this is an emergency and it calls for it. All the family pictures, portraits, etc. are currently in storage. All other valuables that are small are in a safety deposit box. All documents are in water and fireproof safe that requires a key and a pin to open. Currently in my room. I'm trying to take all the precautions. One of my high school friend is a real estate agent and I had her help find them a house nearby, about 15 minutes away after thinking through my decisions. I helped with the down payment just to get them started, just so that they don't feel like I didn't help them in DC. Regarding my dad, we had a long discussion about the issue. He moved in with them, but we decided that we would have dinner every Sunday night, just us two, and to celebrate any special occasions together. I did remind him that I can't have him or any of his new family in the house after his wife disrespected my mom. I don't know much about their history and I really don't want to find out, but as far as I know, as far as I can remember, my mother was nothing but kind to everyone. She raised me to be that way, but I guess she'll be disappointed in me after kicking them out. Oh well. He changed his will, added them in, but I advised him not to tell them. Been watching too much crime stories for the month and I'm just looking out for him. He did say he was proud of my decision and that I've grown up well and strong and that my mom would be proud of me and what I have accomplished in life so far. After that whole ordeal and after making sure that the house is secure etc. I went on vacation with my boyfriend. Well, now fancy, now to unwind and relax. The whole issue took a toll on my mental health, and it was a struggle getting back to I guess. Been normal, been my usual self, also no wedding bells anytime soon. He's focused on his intern year up in New York, pursuing his career in medicine, wants to be a pediatrician. For all those wondering, he had signed a prenup. He was more than willing to sign it. Also, my mom's side of the family had a big military finance background, lots of investments and such. I could follow their footsteps and join the military, but my hand-eye coordination is abysmal, so that's why I work in finance. I try to not depend on my family's money and learn on how to make my own money through investments, stocks, etc. And around the house. Gotta keep it well. I didn't take out a little bit to do some remodeling, it maintain it if I want to pass it down. I think that's about it. My dad and I are exactly back to our old relationship. I don't think we'll ever get back to it, but we're civil about the situation. I've seen Steph and her daughters around town a few times, but I don't acknowledge them. But what if when they took my dad from me? This story represents a complex family situation where trust and communication are clearly under strain. The way one family member responds or fails to respond to other needs highlights how resentments and lack of openness can deeply affect relationships. While the narrative may be dramatic and stylized, it still carries an important reminder. Avoiding hard conversation doesn't make problems disappear, it often lets them grow. Story 2. I just found out why my wedding started late and I loved my husband more because of it. My husband, John Bucky, male 26 and I, female 24. just returned from our week-long honeymoon 2 weeks ago. We call my husband Bucky because he resembles the character from the MCU movies. My Bucky is a bit more yummy. Yesterday was the first time we had dinner with his family since the wedding. My sister-in-law, female 20, is my favorite person beside my husband, which is why she was my maid of honor. She took me aside and told me what happened behind the scenes at my wedding. A bit of background first. My mother-in-law, female 84, never liked me, and she didn't hide it from me, though she did hide it from her son. This started from the moment we began dating. She would play nice in front of him, but make nasty comments as soon as he was out of sight. At first, he didn't say anything to Bucky, hoping that in time his mother would warm up to me, but it never stopped. Eventually, I had enough and started telling Bucky. Bucky spoke with his mother, but she claimed I was misunderstanding her. She didn't stop, she just became subtler, saying things that could be interpreted in multiple ways. I don't blame Bucky. He did believe me, but he also believed his mother when she said she meant something else. When Bucky proposed, I thought that would be the end of it, but she only got sneakier. I almost called off the wedding because I couldn't handle it anymore. We had arguments, it was frustrating. Bucky always believed me, but didn't believe it was his mother's instead to be hurtful. Somehow we got through it and started planning the wedding. My sister-in-law helped with the wedding planning and preparations, and because my mother-in-law was minimally involved, everything was perfect. From my perspective, everything went as planned on the wedding day, though we started a bit later. Bucky told me it couldn't be avoided because something important came up last minute. I assumed it was work-related, so I didn't ask. But now I've heard from my sister-in-law what actually happened. I was in the bridal suite, so I didn't see or hear any of this. My mother-in-law arrived at the venue we were invited. When Bucky found out, he asked my sister-in-law to bring her in his ready room, along with his other siblings and father. When my mother-in-law walked in and tried to hug him, Bucky stopped her. He asked what she was wearing, and when she dismissed it, he repeated the question differently. Why was she wearing white at his wedding? Why was she trying to hurt his soon-to-be wife? Why was she trying to ruin his wedding day? I think facing it as his day rather than my day got to his mother. He reminded her that it was his wedding too. She still tried to dismiss it, saying he was overacting and it was just a dress. That's when he lost it. He started yelling at his mother, saying that he now realized I wasn't misunderstanding her. She was deliberately being hurtful to me. He yelled that he had been defending her to me all this time, but now it was clear that I was the one who needed defending. He accused his mother of trying to sabotage his relationship. When my father-in-law tried to say something, Bucky shut him down, saying he didn't want to hear it because they had stood by and enabled her behavior. Bucky then told his mother, because you're my mother, I'm willing to postpone the wedding by half an hour to give you a chance to change. I don't care if you go home, to a store or wherever. Just leave now and only come back when you've changed. If you refuse, you will never see me, my wife or our future children ever again. Do I make myself clear? The wedding was perfect and my mother-in-law wore a blue dress. I don't know how to thank this man enough. His birthday is in 3 months and I'm going to have to plan something extra special. I've made plans for his birthday. We're going to Las Vegas that weekend, and I've already made the reservation at Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. He knows I've made plans for us that weekend, but he doesn't know what they are. Now for the update. We're going no contact with his mother and low contact with his father. Sharon, my sister-in-law, has moved out. She's currently staying with a friend about a 20-minute walk from us. The reason for all of this? In the weeks after the wedding, Pamela was carnal. She wasn't overly nice, but she also wasn't mean or hurtful. Until 3 weeks ago, we were invited to a family get-together, and everyone was asked to bring something. My college roommate is from South America and taught me how to make a rum cake from her country. It's called Huedo. I'm not sure I'm spelling it correctly. It takes hours to make. Bucky spent the time with me in the kitchen, talking, pouring wine for me, and tasting the rum. He was there to see how much time and effort went into making the cake. At the get-together, everything was going fine until Bucky mentioned that he was offered a job that would require us to move out of state. We haven't made a decision yet because we wanted to find out what it would mean for my work. Can I transfer? Can I work remotely? Do I need to look for another job? While the offer was on the table, we hadn't decided yet. When Pamela heard this, she lost it. She threw a tantrum, accusing me of taking away her only baby boy. She was yelling at me, and I was too stunned to react. Bucky tried to calm her down, but she wouldn't have it. In her tantrum, she walked over to the table, grabbed my cake, and threw it on the ground. I don't know what happened then. All I remember is falling to my knees, repeating to myself, it's just a cake, it's just a cake. I was thinking about all the time and energy I put into making it. I called my old roommate for a refresher on the recipe. I had to find a specialty shop for the specific sugar-based rum. I spent hours at the kitchen baking, and she just threw it on the floor. I could hear my husband yelling. I couldn't make out what he was saying, but I've never heard him sound so angry. After a while, Bucky walked over, helped me up, and we left. On our way home, he kept telling me that it would be okay and that we were never going back there again. At home, once we had both calmed down, we talked about it. I didn't even have to suggest going no contact. Bucky said he had already told his mother that we would be going no contact and that we would only resume contact if I changed my mind. We took out our phones and blocked Pamela. Bucky called his father, asked to be put on speaker, and told them that Pamela is not welcome in our house and that we are going no contact, possibly permanently. This means we won't be attending any family gathering if his mother is present. Pamela tried to say something, but Bucky hung up. We haven't made a decision yet, but now we have one more reason to accept the job offer and move. The Pamela saga has come to an end. It's not the ending any of us wanted, but that's how life went. No, Bucky and I are not divorcing, we still love each other. Our marriage is still strong and we have no reason to leave one another. Before I tell you how it ended, let's go back over what happened in the last few months. Going no contact is sometimes easier said than done, especially if the other person doesn't agree with it. Pamela wanted to see her son again, and in her mind, if she forced him, he would eventually see things her way. So, while we went no contact, Pamela went full contact, pun intended. She got a new number and started texting Bucky. Since his phone is on silent during meetings, he only noticed afterward. There were already 20 texts. The text started with apologize, saying she was sorry for what she did, but that we were overreacting. She insisted we're a family and family can work things out. Then, as he didn't respond, her messages became angrier. He blocked that number and she got a new one. After a week he had enough and called his father to talk to Pamela. He put her on speaker so I could listen, but asked me to stay quiet. Bucky talked to his mother and told her that we were going no contact because of her behavior towards me, his wife, and that her current behavior wasn't helping her case. She asked for how long, and Bucky told her we would resume contact when I changed my mind. That's when Pamela really screwed herself over. She said, that's slur for black people, slur for Chinese people, will never be fair. I'm mixed African American and Chinese. I audibly gasped when she said that. Pamela must have heard it because she asked if I was there. Bucky looked at me and I knew what he was thinking. I nodded to him. We had just made our decision. Ignoring her question, Bucky said, we've decided. I'm taking the job offer and we are moving far away from you. With that, he hung up. I don't believe Pamela is racist. I believe she made a racist remark in the heat of the moment. But it was enough to push us over the edge. The next weeks went fast. Bucky confirmed he would take the few job. He resigned his old job. I arranged to work remotely. In a few months, my workplace is opening a satellite office here. I'm already on the transfer list. In a month's time, we moved to our new city. The next 2 months, we did not hear anything from Pamela. 2 weeks ago, we got a phone call from my father-in-law. Pamela was involved in a fatal car accident. The investigation is still ongoing, so all we know is that she was on the highway and there was a multiple car pileup. There were multiple casualties, including Pamela. We just came back from the funeral. Even if we were no contact, this was still Bucky's mother. This is not what any of us wanted. We were still hoping that someday we could reconcile, but life had other plans. Yes, Bucky's birthday was great. He's foodie and he was in heaven at Hell's Kitchen. Weird sentence, but you know what I mean. We even saw Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. We didn't get a chance to speak to him, but just seeing him from a distance was a threat. This story highlights how important it is for partners to stand together when facing toxic family behavior. The husband-firm support shows what healthy boundaries can look like, even if the situation itself feels a bit dramatized and idealized. Since the post is marked as fiction, it reads more like a clean moral lesson than a realistic scenario. But the core message about loyalty and setting limits still stands strong. Thank you for watching. Text in the comment what you think about those stories, and see you next video.